All right, good afternoon, everyone. Wanted to give everyone an update on our first really severe weather outbreak of the fall season, and let's just get right to the radar. And a lot of lines and a lot of colors, and that's usually bad news when it comes to thunderstorms. But as I've talked about in my morning update, the best chance for severe weather you see is within the red, which is the moderate risks that the Storm Prediction Center has sent out. That includes Oklahoma City, Norman, points really south and east of there. And then you have the enhanced risk, which is everything surrounding that, kind of nosing down into North Texas. And so you see that as well. And so it is starting to pop a little bit. So if we go to the focus on the radar here just a little bit, if I can get this to, let's try, here we go. So zoom in over here. So as you can see, we're starting to see some development around Seymour, southwest of Wichita Falls. These are not severe currently, no severe thunderstorm warnings, but it just kind of gives you an idea of the lift in the atmosphere. This is where the capping inversion is starting to erode. And actually before, let me do something here real fast. And because I got to, let me try this. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. Let's see. Oh, here we go. All right. Got to get one thing going here. Looks like I'm live everywhere. Let's see. And okay. Yeah, I think I'm back up. Okay. Anyway, and if I didn't go anywhere, that's fine too. So we'll put this into motion, and you'll see that, again, you're starting to see some development, and you see the darker red, that's a tornado watch box, and it's actually just northwest of Wichita Falls. But you can see that there are thunderstorms starting to develop. Again, like I said, these are nothing severe. So I think a better idea to get an idea of what we can expect going forward is to look at the satellite picture. And I'm going to refresh this real quick. And so you see that line that's starting to form? That is the dry line that is coming our way. And if you look really closely, you can see dust from West Texas right around there. So that's something that, there's a lot of wind energy around there. So it's something that we definitely want to watch. Now you're starting to, and matter of fact, let me see if I can get my little graphics. No, that's not it. Let's see. Live internet. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So the dry line itself is, as you can probably gather, is right along here at the moment. And within all this cloud cover, we'll change colors here just to make it look a little prettier. Cold front somewhere along there. So eventually the cold front will catch up to the dry line when the dry line gets not too far from the Metroplex, probably somewhere in that area. So right now what you're seeing a couple of things that are going against thunderstorm development in North Texas, and that's why you don't see any watch boxes around currently or anything like that. But it's I think they'll eventually come. Probably won't be till after sunset, but I think you'll start to see that. Now there's a couple of things that play right now, and I would focus on, if I can get this to work here. All right, so you have this area of clear skies, not a lot of clouds. And so that's where the capping inversion is holding pretty tight. But I think, as I said this morning, as time goes on, you're going to start to see this capping inversion start to erode. We've had very, very warm temperatures this morning and this afternoon, and that has helped destabilize the atmosphere. Now, like I said, the cap is actually pretty strong, especially for this time of year, but it's going to go away. I don't think there's any question about that. And then you can start to see at these last couple frames, start to see some cumulus development right there. So that is something to watch. The vast majority of the action, hasn't really seen a whole lot of it yet, but the vast majority of the action is in Oklahoma, or at least supposed to be in Oklahoma. And I always get a little concerned about those kind of like, hey, everything is going to happen in Oklahoma and nothing bad is going to happen here. Certainly not saying that something bad is going to happen here, but it's just something that I don't want everybody to discount because nothing's happened so far, and then, nothing is really going on in Oklahoma. And to confirm that a little bit, let's stop this motion here, and we'll put let's zoom in on Oklahoma City radar. Now, as you can tell, it's a lot more active than it is up this way. If we take the identifier off there, let's zoom in here a little bit. So you can see that this is along the cold front, and we'll put this in motion. So like I said, getting active a lot quicker up to the northwest of us in Oklahoma City. And I think as time goes on, they will definitely see some rough weather. I don't think we'll see nearly the rough weather that they will see. But again, it's something you can't totally discount. So what you're seeing here is this movement of from southwest to northeast. The further north you go, the less unstable the atmosphere is, as you can tell by these lines that are pretty tightly spaced as far as this threat for severe weather. So the further northwest you get, over maybe 60 miles, it goes from a moderate risk of severe weather to really no risk of severe weather, so that you can tell that's where the cold front is. Now, the one thing I would point out is what they're going to have to watch out for is this type of cell right here. I wouldn't be, and of course it's going to be going this way, so it's not going to be anywhere near us. It's about 5 o'clock in the afternoon here. So as I said this morning, I don't think that we're going to see a ton of weather before sunset, to be honest with you. But up in Oklahoma, I think, in the next hour or two, you're going to see some development here. And for them, I think it will be actually significant. All right, so let's go back to our radar here. And there we go. All right, we'll click this. A little bit closer up view. Again, not a lot going on, but that's going to change. I like to put this in motion to kind of show you. You see these little lines of, not precipitation obviously, but you see these lines. It just kind of shows you kind of the the rolling of the air in the atmosphere. It's just kind of tells you that there is some mechanism starting to go on. And again, I think you're seeing the capping inversion start to erode. Now, I didn't have a chance to look at the latest sounding before I came on the air, but I haven't seen anything that would say it's going to break. I think erode is probably a better word. But so let's zoom out here a little bit. All right. So what is the thing we should look for between now and I would really say maybe even 8 o'clock? I don't think we're going to see a whole lot. But if I use this radar as a graphic, I'll show you. So my concern, now it's not a big concern at the moment, but my concern is if we do see something before the main squall line comes in with the cold front, it would be somewhere in this area right here. Now, and that would be pre-squall line, so that would be the point where the storms might be more dangerous. Might. They may not even form, but that's just my little bit of concern looking at some other things. Now, if we go back to the satellite, let's refresh this. And this is actually a really good tool because you can see a couple of different things going on here that before the radar picks up on it. So as you can see, again, you can see pretty clearly where the dry line is, well west of us. Again, we're talking 2, 3, maybe 4 hours away. Actually, probably not quite 4 hours, but somewhere in that time frame. So at its current speed. So, but again, remember the cold front's going to overtake it before it gets here. Won't mean a whole lot of difference for us. It's just that it just won't be technically the dry line moving through. Now, some of the things you have to watch for, and again, I'm going to put my graphics back on here. Here we go. Okay, so you can sort of make out if you look really closely. These lines right here, and here's another one. So those are what we call gravity waves. And, a lot of times they don't do a whole lot, but they can, especially when you have an atmosphere that's primed. Now you have a capping inversion, so it's something that you just don't, it's not breaking at the moment, but it's something you have to watch. So sometimes, not always, sometimes these gravity waves can come in and kind of disrupt things that we didn't think would happen sooner. Those are very hard to predict, and that's why you haven't seen any prediction of storms before 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Now, again, having said all that, I'm not saying that that's going to happen where the cap will break early and something's going to pop. It's just that I just don't want anybody to be shocked if it happened. And more importantly, if it did happen, then I just want you to be prepared and it just didn't come out of the blue for you. All right, let's refresh this one more time. So again, right now, we're not seeing really any activity west or southwest of Dallas-Fort Worth. We go back to the radar. But like I said, you are starting to see stuff to the northwest, which is kind of what we thought. And I think, let's put this in motion here. So I think, again, what you'll see, you can make out those gravity waves on radar, but you can kind of see, so these last couple of frames especially, is that you're starting to see more of a line form, and that's what we thought would happen all along. So what can we expect in the short term? Well, in the short term, I think these storms will continue to back build down to the southwest, and we kind of call it zippering, if you will. So it kind of zipper the storms down to the southwest. And then as these get more organized, they will become more solid, because the thing you have to remember, or the thing I would point out, I should say, you might not remember it, might not know about it, is that right now the atmosphere is capped. The better moisture quality and the more cold air associated with the disturbance is not quite here yet. So really more in southwest Texas. So as that moves across, as the dry line gets closer, then as the cold front gets closer, that's when you will see things start to pop, if you will, because all those ingredients will come together. And like I've always talked about, it's severe weather, whether it's in the spring or in the fall. Severe weather is about baking the cake, right? So you can have a great ingredients of cake and forget the sugar, and the cake's not going to taste very good. So you can have all these things come together and not come together at the right time, and it may just be a rainy, stormy evening as opposed to a severe weather evening. Now, on the flip side, if everything comes together perfectly, then you could have some severe thunderstorms, not just in Oklahoma, or supercell thunderstorms, not just in Oklahoma, but here in North Texas. So the bottom line is this. So the next couple hours, unless something pops, it'll probably be pretty quiet. I would say 7, 8 o'clock. After that is when we'll really have to start watching. And again, I think if you don't see any storms popping west or southwest of us, then this will be your area of focus that you'll have to watch for, and then it'll come this way. And of course, I'll be watching that too. So my thought is when we get closer to the 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock time frame, I think we'll have something to talk about, unfortunately. Okay, so let me just look at the comments here real quick. Thank you, Sandra. I appreciate that. Jansen, yes, it is windy today. And the wind is one of the things that has really helped fuel our unstableness of the atmosphere. It's humid outside, Misty. It is. Let's see. Misty, I can see the storm shelter in my future. I don't know. I don't think you're going to have it near as bad down your way, but again, Mother Nature is kind of crazy. Okay, with that, I will be back, unfortunately, in a way, most likely after 7 o'clock, if not sooner, if something pops. But as always, I'm watching the weather, so you don't have to. Everyone have a great evening. Stay safe, stay prepared, but don't panic. And then I will be back to talk to you most likely a little bit later.